Hey there, y'all. How's it going? Welcome to your quadruplicity reading for Scorpio season. So, as I've said, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different for Scorpio season. So, there's going to be double the amount of zodiac readings, okay? And because of what Scorpio season tends to mean for me, this is usually when I start my own personal shadow work. Okay, so just this a little tip, just so you can get the most out of the readings for this next 30-day period, and of course, whenever you choose to do your shadow work, okay, you can always refer to this and do something similar. All right, so like I said, double the amount of zodiac readings, with one being your run of the mill, as I usually do with the Lenormand and the Kipper and tarot to further clarify towards the end of the reading. That's your quote unquote normal zodiac reading, okay? But then I'm gonna also do a shadow reading for, or a shadow scope, if you will, a reading for each zodiac sign as well. So the best way to get the most out of these readings is to not only watch the regular reading. So let me give you an example. So say you're looking at your sun sign specifically, or your first house, okay, for these particular readings. My suggestion is that you want to look at the sign that is opposite of that for you. So I'm just going to use myself as an example because that's easier. So typically, when this season starts, I begin to watch a lot of Libra readings, and I also watch a lot of Scorpio readings. Here's why. I am an Aries Taurus cusp, and when I look at the zodiac wheel, opposite of Aries and Taurus is Libra and Scorpio. So when I'm looking at the shadow aspects of personality and whatever it is I'm trying to work on within my sun sign or first house, because it is in my first house, the house of self, that's where I look. So, you know, for example, if your sun sign is in Capricorn, my suggestion would be to look at the shadow sign for Cancer. Now, these will actually be released on the same day to make it a little easier for you. So that is my suggestion to get the most out of these readings. Now, of course, you can watch for any placement in your chart. I don't specify that it's only sun, moon, or rising, because how I feel is we've all got a little bit of each of the zodiac energies in our chart. And sometimes looking at our sun sign is not going to necessarily tell us about what's going on in our work house or our love house or our family house, so on and so forth. I hope you guys get what I'm saying. So, that's my suggestion. And the entire point of this is because with shadow season, it's all about healing this aspect of duality consciousness and to bring us into unity consciousness so that we can all elevate. That's the entire point of why I am on YouTube. It's the entire point of why I started this channel and why I do what I do. Shadow work is very dear to my heart. It's probably one of the most important aspects of spiritual growth and elevation that one can go through if you choose to. Okay, so with that, I'm gonna go ahead and not ramble anymore and call that here, and let's move on to your quadruplicity reading. What's up there, Misfits? Welcome to Paiges of Ascension. Of course, welcome back if you've been hanging out with me for a little bit. As you can see, I changed the setup just ever so slightly, so you can see a little bit more of me. In any case, this is going to be your Zodiac Season Guide reading for Scorpio season, okay? So one thing that I forgot to mention in that little intro is that there's probably some of you coming across this video that have no idea what I'm talking about as far as looking at the opposite sign on your zodiac, or you don't know exactly what that is. You don't know what those placements necessarily are. So I'm going to leave a little bit of information down in the description box of a website that I use to pull my own chart, and I'm also going to leave the links to a couple of YouTube astrologers that I personally go to because they have amazing information to be able to help you kind of sort out your chart for this shadow season so that you can do that work. All right, So if you are a fixed sign, that means you're Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, or Aquarius, or you're looking at one of the placements considering those signs in your chart, okay? So bear with me just a little bit. I am getting out 7 total cards for this because we're looking for your tipping point. And, oh, one second. And yeah, so while I'm finishing getting that all going here, let's talk a little bit of fine print, okay? So I am an adult. I do use adult language. Now, granted, I try to watch it because, you know, I want my channel to be inclusive, but I'm an adult, okay? So in any case, if that's something that you're not comfortable with, this is probably a good time to exit stage left for you, okay? No hard feelings, plenty of kick-ass people here on YouTube. I am sure you can find someone that uses the language that you prefer, okay? And let's see here. Oh, so we just need to get one more. And let's see here. So this is an inclusive channel, so as far as pronouns go with what you resonate as, okay? And last but not least, of course, that personal reading thing. Go ahead and check out my website. Should be on the bottom of your screen now. Oh, sookie. Beautiful, beautiful. Poke around there and see if there's anything that interests you, okay? Okay. So, beautiful. So, fixed signs, your theme for Scorpio season is intuition. I'm not sure how well you guys can see this with the camera being a tiny bit further away. I'll figure that out. I at least figured out the cheek thing. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go through your cards and then we'll talk a little bit about what I'm seeing, all right? So to start off the first bookend of your reading, we've got fulfillment of wishes, all right? That is the 9 of Cups in traditional tarot. Next, we've got the 3 of Cups, rejoice in celebration. And then we have conflict and defeat. So that would be the 5 of Swords. But what's the most beautiful about this is your tipping point, which is the Sun. No, yes, the Sun, which stands for light in this particular deck, all right? Following that, we've got your solar plexus chakra, so we're dealing with some personal power, and then we've got foundations and achievement, which is going to be your 4 of Wands, all right? After that, we've got deception and envy, not a card I like to see, 7 of Swords in traditional tarot, and then you got a nice little pile here, bookending your reading with your base chakra, your crown chakra, and authority, which is the Emperor in traditional tarot. So I don't remember if I mentioned it already, but I am actually using the Psychic Tarot by John Holland as your primary deck for this season, okay? So let me marinate a moment and then we'll get started. I like this a lot for y'all, fixed signs. So it's looking like there's something that you've been working towards or that you've been putting a lot of effort into, and you're going to begin to start seeing the fruits of your labor come to pass during this season. There's going to be reason to celebrate. I do feel like you have a lot of happiness coming your way based on the cards that are on the table. Now, we do have a couple of hiccups, mainly being that there's something within this or within this process that has led you to feel a little defeated, okay? And it's possible that in your pursuit of building a solid foundation for you to grow on, that you might be experiencing a little bit of, I would say, evil eye energy here with this deception and envy. But in that same sentence, the 7 of Swords, which is what this particular card is, can also stand for you just needing to be very cunning and very sleuthy about how you go about making your goals and your dreams come true, okay? I do feel like you're sitting good. You are definitely the Emperor in this in this scenario. So even if you do have some people that are coming after you, and they don't necessarily mean you well or don't want to see you do well, I do feel like you're able to conquer them with the means of your intuition and staying grounded here, okay? With the base chakra, crown chakra, and the emperor all coming out together. I can't say I've ever seen that combination before. It's beautiful. So let's just to do a little bit of inventory. As far as numbers that I'm seeing for you is 33 and 22. So we've got some master numbers here poking out for Scorpio season for you, okay? What I do like most about what I'm seeing so far is the fact that you've got the Sun card. Now with the Sun card sitting smack in the middle, oh my gosh, you guys probably cannot see that. I am so sorry. With the Sun card sitting smack in the middle of your reading, I feel like regardless to what conflict or what adversities might challenge you for Scorpio season, that you are going to overcome these. You are going to have your wishes fulfilled. You will have a reason to celebrate, and you are the damn boss. All right? All right? So it doesn't matter if anyone's questioning that as long as you don't question that. All right? So let's go ahead and look into your clarifiers and see what else we've got for you. I'm really liking this a lot. This looks amazing. It's possible, actually I'm not picking that up quite so much. It's possible some of you are moving house or starting a business, I would even say. And it's looking like it's necessary for you to tap into confirmation, that personal power to push through this, okay? And I am sensing a little bit of that, like just because we do have a couple of obstacles here with the swords cards, and it seems like it's going to be communication focused, so we can obviously attribute that to Mercury doing its thing and Mars doing its thing, both of those planets being in retrograde right now, okay? So I would definitely say watch how you're communicating with people, especially if this isn't a means for business. But I do feel like you've got something solid to build on, and ultimately that's what we want, right? Okay. Oh yeah, so that's super interesting. All right, so part of him feeling like the issue, or at least why you might be being challenged, and this is definitely feeling more like verbal versus like physical fighting, if you will, because sometimes the Five of Swords can represent that for me. I feel like part of the issue that some people might be having as you're on this road to success is because they're trying to question your integrity. And here's the thing, I'm not seeing anything here that's saying that you haven't been of the utmost integrity. Now, keeping your plans a secret, okay, and not sharing every single thing with everyone around you does not mean that you're not someone of integrity. That means that you're protecting yourself. Now, granted, there's a time and a place, okay? And there are certainly situations where in your pursuit of something, especially if it involves other people in a significant way where it might impact their life, where it is necessary for you to speak on what you're doing and to share what you're doing. But I'm not really feeling that for this. Like, I'm not even seeing a whole lot of emphasis on family or other people. The emphasis that I'm seeing on people are outside people who have a problem with you not necessarily spilling everything that you're doing. It's not a knock to your integrity. It's more within your integrity is where I'm sitting anyway, just my opinion, that you're doing what makes you happy. Go Mercury retrograde. But that you're doing what actually makes you happy, what makes you fulfilled. You know, pursuing your dreams, doing the things that are important to you, okay? So there are some people who are probably going to have a problem with that. And you know what? That's their problem. All right? So what I'm seeing is that whatever the celebration is that you're going to experience, over Scorpio season is something that is going to make you truly happy. There's a sense of gratitude that I see with this particular card here, 10 of Cups, in traditional tarot. And I feel like there's lots of luck and there's lots of longevity on your side here with the turtle making its appearance. And of course with the eye that's at the very top of the card, I additionally feel like, oh, that's beautiful. I additionally feel like the heavens are shining on you on this endeavor, whatever it is, okay? Now, moving on to this 5 of Swords card, we have, sorry, one second. The 4 of Pentacles. So, what this kind of feels like... One second. That's interesting. Okay, so what this is kind of feeling like with the conflict and defeat is that you've been very strict and structured about how you've gone about this, okay? How you've gone about using your intuition in this. And I feel like there are certain periods during this where you have felt defeated, okay? Where there has been a shedding of blood, metaphorically speaking, not literally, okay? Where there has been a shedding of tears, of a lot of emotion. There might have even been, in the process of going after this, a loss of some money to some instance, okay? And you've been very battered in trying to pursue this. Yeah, I would definitely say blood has been spilled. Again, metaphorically speaking, not literally, okay? Yeah, and it's literally like you holding this all together by the sheer force of your will. Okay? So, and that's what's sitting next to your tipping point here. So I do feel like whatever this conflict was, or is going to potentially grace your presence, for Scorpio season, it definitely, it takes a chunk out, you know, it definitely takes a chunk out of your emotions and what you're feeling, and even to some degree your stability, okay? But with the bee sitting on this card, it's kind of like this idea of the bee. With the body weight of the bee and its wings, for example, the bee should not be able to fly. It's an insect that should not be able to do what it does, just purely based on what we know by, you know, the ergonomics of physics and stuff, okay? Its body weight is much heavier than its wings, and yet it's still able to fly. It's still able to pollinate. It's still able to provide honey, you know, and feed its young and produce, and so on and so forth, okay? And I feel like that's kind of you in this instance throughout Scorpio season, is no one can really see how you're able to conquer these things that you are, because by the very sheer appearance of it, you shouldn't be able to do what you are doing, but you can. I almost feel like the bee is something of a totem for you for Scorpio season, okay? As to how to get through conflict and defeat. You know, bees have to watch out for a lot of different things as they're on their path living their life. You know, they have predators out there. They have to deal with, you know, the influence of humans, you know, for example. They have to deal with pesticides, you know, they have to deal with weather, you know, changing and all that sort. But yet and still they're able to do the things that they need to do in order to survive. And in the progress, they are able to help out the ecosystem as a whole. So I feel like that's kind of you. Like, you're sitting in this position of the bee. Okay, I also want to mention too that the bee in and of itself is a very spiritual insect, if you will. It feels really weird calling a bee an insect, even though they are an insect. They're a pollinator, you know what I mean? They bring forth life. Okay, So that's something to keep in mind, especially with the fact that intuition is leading you for Scorpio season, all right? So the next card that we've got going for you here is the King of Cups sitting on top of the Sun card. So I do feel like you're very balanced in your emotions. Normally the King of Cups would be someone who is, they're open with their emotions, but I feel like the emotions that you've got going on are very, they're not just positive, but they're high vibrational, confirmation, despite everything that is going on for you, okay? So, okay, there we go. So we got those. So yeah, you're being encouraged to, you know, keep your focus, stay in the highest vibrational state that you can, despite this conflict or this, you know, feeling of defeat that you have going on. You staying in a high vibration during this season is going to be tantamount to your success, okay, in this endeavor. Now, moving on to foundations and achievement in your solar plexus, you've invested a lot into whatever this is, like blood, sweat, and tears. And that's really backing up what landed on your Five of Swords, okay? There has been a lot invested in whatever this is. It's beginning to feel a lot like a business of some sort, and not necessarily relationship, okay? You know, almost like building an empire. And it's like you have invested a lot to build this empire. You have individually planted each seed with care. You have nurtured with care. You've listened to your intuition on which moves to make and when to make them. This has been a very arduous process for you in trying to make this come to fruition, okay? Which is probably why it hurts that much more that this conflict is going on for you, all right? And I do feel like because of how much life force you have applied to this, that's also going to be tantamount to your success, along with continuing to keep a high vibration. Like I said, the sun is shining on you on this. So as long as you remain in the highest vibration possible, it equals your success. Okay? So moving on to this deception and envy, I feel like for some of you, this might be an issue with gender roles, which is interesting in and of itself because I don't necessarily always get that with this masculine feminine card. But I feel like that's where this envy is coming from. So perhaps you are a masculine and you're going into or starting a company, I would say, going into a line of work or starting a company that is traditionally feminine. So there might be some people who have an issue with that. Or even vice versa. Say that you are a feminine energy and you're going in a traditionally known as a masculine line of work. And there might be some people who are trying to underhand you. They're trying to lowball you, okay? Or they might even be envious of the fact that you are comfortable and confident enough to be able to take that step and do this, and they're not. You know? That's their problem. That's not your problem. Okay, so to go ahead and move on to our last card here, again, you are the emperor in this, and it's by sheer fear of keeping yourself grounded and also listening to your intuition that's going to allow you to literally have heaven on earth. Like, I love that this card came out in this position. This is absolutely beautiful, fixed signs. Like, I'm seeing a lot of success for you. You know, a little bit of conflict, you know, a little bit of jealousy that you may have to deal with, but you are powerful enough to overcome any of that. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the messages that Spirit has for you, especially because we're running on 20 minutes now, and I like these to be a little shorter than that. So you ended up with two cards that came out for your messages. So the first one is, yes, X marks the spot. Okay. It says, see the love in disguise. Beautiful. All right. And your second card, it says, what would your higher self do? Your divinity in blue jeans. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. This is actually backing up Exactly what I was saying. So it's, you use your intuition, you've dug deep into within self and within your own psyche to figure out exactly what moves you need to make and when. And that is not necessarily the easiest thing for a fixed sign to do. Y'all tend to like a process. You like things to go a certain way. You like to know what comes next. So dealing with intuitive energies within yourself has probably been its own hurdle to overcome. And you know what? I'm proud of you for that. Because it's not easy to listen to your intuition and not listen to ego drives, okay? But you've managed to accomplish that. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Fixed signs, I feel like this particular season, Scorpio season, that you have actually managed to get yourself in a place of unity consciousness already. We've got the solar plexus chakra coming out with your base chakra and then with your crown chakra. That's the three areas that require, to some degree, the most balance. You can use your intuition all you want, but if you're not grounded, you're not going to also see the practical within that. And the same goes for vice versa. If you're too grounded, you're not going to notice. It's going to be easier for you to ignore what your intuition is telling you in an effort to help you, okay? And if you don't have the personal power and belief in yourself to follow either of those, you kind of end up going in a circle. So the fact that you've got all three of these out and where they're landing, it's telling me you are already well on your way to working your way through the shadow that is Scorpio season, okay? Beautiful. All right. So listen to that divine energy within you, okay? When your intuition is pushing you to act, that's the time to act. If your intuition is saying, you know, don't share everything that you need to, then don't. If it's saying share, do. But the point is to listen to your intuition for Scorpio season, okay? So the soul lesson that Spirit has for you, beautiful, is love. All right? Loving yourself totally goes with the solar plexus chakra as far as I'm concerned, okay? Or one of the chakras anyway. It says, I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. So even despite this conflict that's coming up, even despite feeling defeated at times while you're going through this, and even having to deal with the enviousness of some people around you, it's a blessing and a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? Maturity to be able to see the love in someone else's hate on you, okay? To be able to step back and see, okay, this is why this person might be envious. This is why this person might be jealous of me. This is why they might be causing conflict in my life. It's because such and such and such and such. You know, it takes a lot amount of maturity and higher insight to be able to stay in that mind frame when someone's literally trying to tear you down. I am so freaking proud of y'all. Oh my gosh. Okay, so with that, we're at 24 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and call that here. Just remember to see the love in everything. And remember to use your intuition and listen to that first, okay? The intuition is, the first response is usually the correct response. Listen to that gut. That's where your intuition sits, okay? So yeah. With that, we're going to go ahead and call it here. Thank you so much for joining. If you found this reading helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, okay? And remember, your peace is your power. And I'll see you next time. Bye.